Rise to join me in the pledge of allegiance, moment of prayer or silence, whichever is your choice. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of February 22nd?
I'll move. I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve appropriations ordinance number 9?
I move we approve ordinance number 9.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Declare the public input session open for any items not on the agenda. Anything out there online? Ask the bench, do they have
I
anything?
don't have anything. Mm-mm.
Okay, I would have one thing, the Harvard piece, and if you look at this, we've had 10 days, if you scroll up, we've had 10 days that are in the orange. And I would say that just is my own personal opinion that if we're going to stay in the orange, we may consider going ahead and allowing people to come in without ringing the doorbell. But I think you could still require all the other pieces that we do. So I'll throw that out for consideration. And the other thing that I want to make clear again, is still my understanding, it doesn't matter what phase we're in. The governor's mask rule prevails until the state changes their stance on masks, unless a county opted out of that mask requirement, mask is required. So that means when you go to the grocery store, when you go to big box store, when you go to anywhere, the state requirement is a mask. And that is a state requirement. That is not the local requirement. So remind everybody of that. With that, if there's nothing else, I'll declare the public input session closed. I got to get back out of this. There you are. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move. I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to call on Joni Ringy, CVB department items.
Good morning.
Morning, Jimmy.
Today I'm requesting approval for the following visitor attraction grants for the 12 events to be held in McPherson with a total of grants not to exceed $13,750. All of these grants were approved by the CVB board on February 10th, 2021. Okay, first of all, a $750 visitor attraction grant for the McPherson High School baseball for the Hooper Showcase 18 and under baseball tournament to be held June 25th, 26th, 27th, 2021 in McPherson. Do you want me to read all of the grants? Since I grouped them
We're
together.
gonna do them all at the same time. Just go down.
Perfect. Do
Just maybe,
you want me to read every single one?
yeah.
Yeah.
We've got people
Yes.
online that will need to hear.
Okay, that's what I was going to do. Okay, second, a $750 visitor attraction grant for the McPherson High School baseball for the Caden Schroeder 18 and under baseball tournament to be held June 11th and 12th, 2021 in McPherson. Third, a $500 visitor attraction grant for McPherson Main Street, Inc. for the Shop the Night Away event to be held in McPherson on July 9th, 2021. Fourth, a $5,000 visitor attraction grant for McPherson Main Street, Inc. for the Home for the Holidays promotion to be held November 1st to December 31st, 2021 in McPherson. Fifth, a $1,000 visitor attraction grant for the Kansas Kids Sports for the Central Kansas Spring Classic Softball Tournament to be held April 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2021 in McPherson. Sixth, a $1,000 visitor attraction grant for the Kansas Kids Sports for the Central Kansas Boxer Blowout Softball Tournament to be held May 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, 2021 in McPherson. Seventh, a $1,000 visitor attraction grant for the Kansas Kids Sports for the Mike Baird Memorial Softball Tournament to be held June 12th and 13th, 2021 in McPherson. Eighth, a $1,000 visitor attraction grant for the Kansas Kids Sports for the 5th Annual Central Kansas Showdown Softball Tournament to be held June 25th, 26th, 27th, 2021 in McPherson. Ninth, a $1,000 visitor attraction grant for Kansas Kids Sports for the Great Plains Championship Tournament to be held July 22nd through the 27th, 2021 in McPherson. 10th, a $500 visitor attraction grant for Kansas Kids Sports for the 5th Annual Fall Classic Softball Tournament to be held September 26, 2021 in McPherson. 11th, a $500 visitor attraction grant for the Kansas Kids Sports for the 3rd Annual Independent Team and Club Championship to be held October 10th, 2021 in McPherson. And lastly, 12th, a $750 visitor attraction grant from McPherson American Legion Post 24 for the 5th District Annual Convention to be held April 9th, 10th, and 11th here in McPherson.
I would like to say before I make the motion that we have scheduled all of these, and if they're approved here, then we will pay the money if the event is held. We are being optimistic that these can be held. If they are not held, we would not make the grant.
That's correct. Last year, we did have some that we didn't have, so we didn't pay out that money. So,
Great. I'd like to move to approve the 12 visitor attraction grants as presented for a total of all grants not to exceed $13,750.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
okay, and then I have commission approval to approve King Midas Band performance on Sunday, July 4th, 2021 for the July 4th celebration at Wall Park for an amount not to exceed $1,650 and authorize Mayor Brown to sign this contract.
I'll make the motion to approve the King Midas Band performance on Sunday, July 4th, 2021 for the July 4th celebration at Wall Park for an amount not to exceed $1,650.
I second. Oh, I'm sorry.
And authorize Mayor Brown to sign the contract.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Chief Golden.
Morning, Mayor, Commissioners.
Morning.
Just a little update as what we're doing at our police department range over the weekend. The fire department was able to bring out their bulldozer and remove trees for our expansion project. And beginning today, or this week, dirt is going to start being delivered. So far, we're at no cost on the expansion. Been working with Jeff Woodward and Justin in discussing the fencing that we need extended with the fence donated by Wayne Burns in the Parks Department. And this project's not going to be something that's done in 30 days. We're going to budget and move it along as we can. And also, we're going to look for some grants and donations as well. So I just wanted to give you the information that we really appreciate all the hard work of the fire department this weekend and the guidance of Jeff on helping us with the slope of the dirt, because I'm a police officer that shoots into dirt, not planning this kind of stuff. So I appreciate it, even though some of it, kind of was hurtful information, but it's okay. We'll be all right. So just an update.
Wear your body cam for bowling and the rain.
Yeah.
Just joking with him. Anyways, public lands, Wayne Burns.
Good morning.
Morning, Wayne.
Morning.
On December 14th, 2020, sealed bids were advertised through local and social media platforms with 2 responses. Trailers were also offered internally and no departments were interested. Staff is requesting commission accept 1 sealed bid from McPherson Trailer for $329 and 1 sealed bid from Todd Peach of South Hutchinson for a stand-up ramp trailer for $200.
I'll make the motion to accept the sealed bid from McPherson Trailer for 1 tilt trailer for $329. Do we need both of them at the same time?
I need to excuse myself for that.
Okay, I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Second one is a motion to accept the sealed bids from Todd Peach of South Hutchison for one stand-up ramp trailer for $200.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to planning and zoning. Call on Virgil Lines.
Morning,
Morning.
Virgil.
Virgil.
So we have a new potential appointee for the planning commission. If you accept this appointment, we would have a full 9 members for the first time in quite a little while. Her name is Jennifer Flood. She came to us wishing to serve. She's, I believe, one of the founders of McPherson, or the McPherson Buzz. And she lectures over at Mac College. She's got a wealth of experience. I won't run through it all here, but she'd be a great addition. So I recommend that we appoint Jennifer Flood to the Planning Commission, authorize the mayor to sign.
I move that we appoint Jennifer Flood to the Planning Commission and authorize Mayor Brown to sign the appointment document.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And she will be sworn in tomorrow evening prior to the meeting.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, we're in Public Works, Jeff Woodward.
As discussed a few weeks ago, the makeup error in the Headworks building's been troublesome since it was built. We have since had Haven Engineering on site to see if the existing unit can be repaired. Due to the rusting components, it is no longer serviceable. I'd like to avoid repeating the fiasco from the original design and installation by getting a design engineer to help us. LST Consultant Engineers, PA, has been highly recommended by Pete Earls. I received a design proposal from LST for $2,200. The contract will be reviewed and approved by the city attorney, and the motion should reflect upon approval of the city attorney.
Okay. I move to approve hiring LST Consulting Engineering PA to design the new makeup unit for the Headworks building for a cost not to exceed $2,200 and authorize the mayor to sign the contract after it is approved by the city attorney.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And finally, I'd like to give you an update on the one construction project we have underway. The sewer main extension for the new PM facility on Northfield Road was completed last week with only general cleanup items remaining. So that's good news up there.
Yeah.
That's all I had unless there's any questions.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you. Administrative report.
First item I have for you, back on February 17th, 2021, the Kansas Department of Commerce came and did their final monitoring on the 2019 Chestnut Street CDBG project, and also initial monitoring on the 2020 CDBG housing rehab project. We did receive our letter this last week, and Kansas Department of Commerce found no deficiencies related to either of these monitorings, and has allowed the city of McPherson to begin that process to close out the 2019 Chestnut project. There will be a need for a closeout hearing, and then there'll be a request for a final $2,000 of those grant funds to be paid out as it relates to that project. So I'm waiting to hear back from SCED on when that date will be, but it will be, we'll have to publish a hearing notice on our website and then set that final hearing before they pay that $2,000 out. So we will continue to move forward with that. I do have copies of both these monitoring letters attached for anybody that wants to see those. No action needed, just more of an update. The next item, also as it relates to the 2020 CDBG housing rehab grant, on Thursday of this last week, we did open bids for the second round of houses that we have associated with the 2020 CDBG housing grant rehab. The addresses for the group of homes that we did open bids for were 1014 South Ash, 805 South Main, 1214 South Elm, Units 1, 2, and 3. We had 3 contractors who submitted bids. They include DH Homes, New Windows for America, and S&A Construction, all out of Wichita, with exception of DH Homes, they're out of Hutch. As a result of the bids and limitations set by the Kansas Department of Commerce on the number of that any one contractor can work on, we're recommending the following contractors' bid amounts be selected for the given addresses. At 1014 South Ash, S&A Construction is the recommendation there. They had a bid of $25,345, and because that's an owner occupied, there's no owner share associated with that one. The next one, which is a triplex at 1214 South Elm, we're recommending DH Home be selected for all 3 units. They do have to be had to be bid out separately. So on unit 1, 22,500, unit 2, 17,300, and unit 3, 16,000. And the landlord shares for each of those is equivalent to 25%. So you're looking at $5,287.50 on unit 1, $4,037.50 on unit 2, and $3,662.50 on unit 3. 805 South Main, we're recommending New Windows for America be selected for that particular bid for an amount not to exceed $23,200. And that also is an owner occupied, and there's no match associated with that. As per the attachments, not all bids for the selected projects were necessarily the lowest. But I will say that because we wanted to keep the triplexes all together and have one contractor, if you combine all those 3 together, they were the lowest cumulative. So technically we did award the lowest in all those. City Commission should consider authorizing the mayor to sign the contracts, repayment agreements, and all other paperwork related to the rehabilitation work approval at each of these addresses. I have had SCED work up the contracts and the repayment agreements, so they're all ready to move forward when we can. I will say that these are all a little bit higher than what we've had on the last several, and some of it has to do with the cost of building supplies. And the other thing that we're wanting to move fairly quickly on is getting things like windows ordered. So the sooner we can get going on this, the sooner they can get that ordered, and hopefully they can complete those projects in a timely manner. That's been a holdup a little bit, getting some of the supplies as well. So we'll continue to move forward with this, and our hope is that we'll finish this grant in enough time as granted to us, which is basically 2 years from the start when it was granted back in January of last year. So we want to continue to move forward with this, and hopefully we'd be a good candidate for another round of housing if we put in for it. So, and just as a reminder, on all these projects, building permits, contractor building permits we're asking to go ahead and waive those fees. And then we will also submit sales tax exemptions for each of these projects to the state as well. And the city actually submits those directly. So that is information for that project. And I would like you to take some action on that too.
I move to approve the bids for housing rehabilitation at 1014 South Ash, 805 South Main, and 1214 South Elm, units 1, 2, 3, as part of the 2020 CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Grant for a combined total not to exceed $104,345. Authorize Mayor Tom Brown to sign the contract agreements, repayment agreements, and all of the related documents required to move forward with this rehabilitation work.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Just as a side note on that particular one, we are, because a majority of what we've done has been owner occupied, we are still looking for several renter occupied units that we'd like to do to make sure we can meet our match on that project. So if there's folks that are in that area, and it's basically the limits of that area are south of Avenue A, are and east of Main Street, all the way to Ash Street, going down to Avenue F. So that's kind of the square, that's the rectangular area that's included in that. We have a lot of applications, but we have much more owner occupieds, which, as you can kind of see, that 25% match makes it a little bit more of a challenge when we don't have that on some of the owner occupied. So we will consider maybe one or two more rental occupied properties. So if there's folks that are interested, we'll be putting something probably out on social media as well to let people know about that. Next item that I have before you is this year's McPherson Housing Coalition received $192,353 in grant funds from KDHE. It's actually I think it's KHRC. Due to COVID-19, there'll be no match required. The McPherson Housing Coalition will be allotted $114,000 for rapid rehousing applicants, $66,500 for homeless prevention applicants, $2,660 for technology and training, and $9,193 for grant administration. The reimbursement request will bring the total requests, the reimbursement request being submitted currently will bring the total request for 2020 to $95,885.24, which equates to approximately 50% of the awarded $192,353. Just as a reminder, ESG does stand for Emergency Solutions Grants, and the grant is funded by KDHE and is administered by the City of McPherson for the benefit of the McPherson Housing Coalition for their homeless prevention program and activities.
I'd make the motion to approve payment to the McPherson Housing Coalition for the ESG grant reimbursement request number 7 in the amount of $17,298.91, and authorize the mayor to sign the related documents.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
For the next item, this is more of an update, and I want to give you a little bit of a sample of what we've worked on. City of McPherson's grown its housing programs over this past several years. With some of these changes, it was determined there was a need to have more organized way to access this information. I'd had a number of people say, hey, I heard about this housing program. Where can I find this? I said, you can go to the website, but we never really had a dedicated housing section to the website. So they were scattered about throughout the city's website. So what we decided to do is go ahead and create a section called McPherson Housing to start putting all that information together. So the site that Sydney's going to go over with you shows the dedicated housing area. It's got things like the housing study, grants for housing information, and links to new and current residents and developers that they can click on. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sydney. And I will say that after she presents, we're open to suggestions. This is a work in progress. This is a start. We've already been reaching out to different folks in housing around McPherson, asking for some assistance because we wanted to make it the most valuable site that we possibly can. So with that, I'll turn it over to Sydney, and you kind of go over some of the sections.
Yeah, so in order to find it, I guess we'll start from square one. So it's underneath our residence menu. We figured that was probably the best place because the residents are gonna be the one looking at this, and it's just McPherson housing information, and it lists all the other sub pages. That way, if they're looking for something specific, they can see it just right off. So we just have our landing page, and so it's all the CDBG grants throughout the years. So we have updates so they can see past houses, so they can kind of get a feel of what exactly the program is, and then along with current information. We also have the fair housing information. and links and videos. We also did link McPherson Housing Coalition, and they are actually going to get their website updated a little bit more user-friendly here in the near future. Along with the housing study, and then also the moderate income housing grant, NCHIP, and recap, we're all familiar with those. And then the sidewalk replacement program, we also linked there. But the new pages are like the new resident pages, which these are still under construction, but we're adding to them. So if you're a new resident, say you just moved here and you're not sure where to go, because we have a lot of different pages here in the city as well that link it. So the chamber has a great website for new residents, and I know Main Street has a lot of information, so it just kind of puts it all in one. So there's rental and housing, if they need a realtor list, housing programs and info, and it would just link back to the housing information. So that's the housing page wrapped up. Any questions? I went really fast.
We've had a lot of concern about the number of rentals that aren't rented. And what do they get when they click on that rental page?
So that goes straight to the McPherson Landlord Association page, the one that Brian Hawk came in and talked about. Because that is run by the McPherson Landlord Association, so they can see the listings that are available.
Okay, thank you.
So we're open to expanding that beyond just that point, but if anybody calls and says that they'd like to be listed, we're willing to work with them on that too.
So how does that get updated, or who?
Well, it's on my list to keep updated. So anytime like the CDBG, like we need to add pictures for 2018 and 2020. So we'll keep updating that as we get the information. The residence page is actually mostly linked to other pages, and the chamber is really good about updating their information. Like if you go to their realtor list, it goes straight to their realtor directory.
Okay, that's what I,
Yep.
thank you.
A lot of good work there, so
Good.
hopefully it's
Yeah, nice job.
positive for people having housing questions.
I've talked to a mega project, and also we do plan to add the parts that folks that are in challenges with transitions for homelessness. So they know where they can reach out to too. So it'll be an other housing needs section that we're looking at adding as well. So.
All right.
So with that, there's no action necessary on that. Just wanted to show that to you. But we do have a number of wages for your consideration today. And these are all 6 months, all 6 month step increases with the exception of the one that goes from an operator in training to operator and training CDL. And I'll just hit that one first. It's Travis Hale at the street department, who is going from operator in training to operator in training with the CDL, and it's just additional pay that's associated with receiving that CDL. And that's going from $15.66 to $16.13 per hour, effective March 8th of 2021. And then on the other two, they're based upon valuations. Scott Runzel, Police Department, Police Lieutenant, going from $29.39 per hour to $30.27 per hour, effective March 8th. And then Caleb Seamers, Police Department Patrol Officer, going from $21.13 to $21.76, also effective March 8th.
I make a motion to approve the wages.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
4 bonds for your consideration today. South Central Commercial Mechanical LLC out of Wichita, $5,000 mechanical bond. TNT Heating and Air out of Goddard, Kansas, $5,000 mechanical bond. Mac HVAC Incorporated out of Hutchinson, Kansas, $5,000 mechanical bond and a $5,000 plumbing bond.
I move that we approve the bonds as read.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And one CD, a $500,000 CD is being placed at First Bank, Kansas. It is a 12-month CD at 0.06% interest. It will mature on February 24th of 2022. And this CD was previously and had an investment value of 1.57%. So it's gone down quite a bit.
I'll make the motion to approve the investment.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to move to recess the city commission meeting.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Two. Okay, and we're back in regular session, okay? I would like to move to approve hiring Clark Mize, Linville Chartered to represent the city in condemnation proceedings for the Northview sidewalk project Phase 1 for a cost not to exceed $20,000 if the current options and the negotiation cannot be worked out.
The 20,000 would include court-appointed appraisers. And then this is just.
Okay,
It's not
all
just
right,
attorney fees.
okay.
Okay.
Including what he said.
I second that motion.
All right,
Cost of litigation.
cost of litigation. Yeah, that's easy to put in the minutes. Okay. Any discussion on that? We'll see what Mr. Chambers' two options are. And whether or not we can come close. And it may be, are you out of pocket on discussing those options before we go to litigation costs? You're out of the picture now.
I'm done.
Okay, all right. All right, any other questions or needs for this motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. So we'll go forward if we can't get a solution. All right. I would just say that if we can't make any progress this week, we probably should go ahead and execute. Okay? All right. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'd like to move to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
You want Mr.